No. No, should I go brush them again? I brush them with a wire brush, actually.
I'm over 12 hours already. I can tell you that.
What's happening, everybody? Hello. Look at this. Do you see? Isn't this beautiful? I didn't have a show today. So, well, what happened? I did have a show. I had a show that I was planning on. I was super excited about. I was going to have on Rick McCraw. Well, Rick could not make it. So, now you are going to join in a little bit of live YouTube. So, I'm going to be putting the link in chat if you want to come on and be live on the BlackCat Whiteface show. You're welcome to do it. I'm a little early, too. I got a couple guys with me here. You see these guys over here? Charlie, Joe, Gary. I don't know where Gary went. I think Gary's taking his clothes off completely. I think that's what he's into right now. I would be. I was in. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Long day at work.
Long day at work, huh?
Yeah. Same for me.
Getting ready to start packing for NVE.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Let me throw the link out here in chat, and then we're going to start talking about MVE. We got quite a bit to talk about here. We got the MVE. We have the new FDA. The FDA announced a new commissioner today. So that's obviously something that's pretty interesting. There is the link in chat. If you'd like to come on and be part of the BlackCat Whiteface show, the name of the show is, did you guys see the size of that chicken? Charlie, you like big chickens?
I thought your chicken was actually huge.
My chicken?
Yeah.
You are sadly mistaken, sir. I have a very small, modest chicken.
Is it colorful at least?
That wasn't your chicken in the thumbnail?
That was not my chicken in the thumbnail. Whoa! Well, hello, Tyler. Welcome to the show.
Yo. It took me a minute, but I found it.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, hold on.
Well, dogs are going crazy.
Got dogs going crazy over there.
So what are you guys excited about? What's your big excitement about NVE? What is going on that you guys are excited to be involved with at NVE?
Charlie's muted.
I'm excited about the people.
Who are you most excited to meet, Charlie?
Joe Rogan.
Now, does everybody know that Joe Rogan is going to be a guest on the Vape Hot Tub this Thursday? Did you tell everybody that yet?
No, I was keeping it as a surprise, but I heard you've been spouting it off.
You know, man, it's an awful, awful
now
thing.
The cat's out of the bag.
Cat is completely out. That's right. On Friday.
So sorry about that.
That's no problem, Tyler. You're fine, dude. The Thursday we will have on Joe Rogan on the Vaping Hot Tub. So if you're a fan of Joe and his podcast, tune in Thursday to see Joe Rogan on the Vape Hot Tub. It's gonna be a great show.
Jeez. Bringing in the heavy guests this time.
Old buddy, yeah. Calling him in. I got to build stats. I got to build stats on the channel.
I think for NVE, not going to lie, I'm pretty excited to meet Charlie in real life.
Yeah.
Charlie's a cool dude.
Yeah, Charlie's a cool dude.
Spent a lot of time with him in Zoom, but I never met him in real life. So
right. There's going to be a lot of us that hang out in Zoom and kind of behind the scenes, always goofing off and trolling together. So there's going to be a good group of people there. The only person that I know of that won't be there is Robert, the chest hair millionaire, and D-Bone. I wish they were going to be there, but
yeah, Robert would be a good time, and D-Bone too.
We've got a ton of cool people, and I just keep hearing about more. But I'm looking forward to meeting Johnny.
Yeah, I met Johnny in Richmond, and it was a great time. Bogan, I'm pretty excited to meet Bogan. I found out Bogan was going to NVE. I have a beer in the fridge ready for him. I'm excited.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know Bogan was going to be there.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, is Vic and those guys coming from across the sea too?
Oh no, I was wondering about if Dean was going to be there. I haven't heard that he is, but I would love to meet Dean. I haven't met him yet. I've met a lot of the reviewers, but I've never met Dean, the vaping biker.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from the UK reviewers about them coming across the pond or anything, but
I know they have a big one, a big expo coming up here pretty soon. So I don't know exactly when that is, but I know it's relatively soon. So they may be holding out for that one. I got something here we were just talking about this. And this is an article. So as everybody knows, that Scott Gottlieb resigned from the FDA as commissioner of the FDA. I think at first there was a lot of rejoice that he was gone, because it did seem like he was spearheading this whole vaping epidemic type thing, and it wasn't something that I was curiously optimistic, I would say, because I was worried that the person coming in was going to be just as bad or follow the same programmed response that Scott had developed. But now we actually know who the new FDA commissioner is going to be. One thing about it, so the guy who they brought in, I'm actually looking for his name right now. I believe he is he's a physician, so he's a doctor. I think Gottlieb, what kind of doctor was Gottlieb? Was he just like a general practitioner?
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy is more specialty.
Yeah.
I know he's taught at like Harvard and he's done all kinds of stuff like that as well.
Yeah, this is Ned Sharpless is his name.
So
Yeah, he's the head of the National Cancer Institute.
which is concerning, because as head of the National Cancer Institute, the only way they make money, and I hate to say this and sound so, like, not even conspiracy, but I hate to think of it like in business. The only way they make money is if people what? Have cancer.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
They're sick.
People are sick.
It's not just that concerns me, but as well as they've been pumped so full of bad information. The American Cancer Society actually came around and did some pro-vaping endorsements probably 6 months ago, but it was the first time they had ever done anything to say that vaping was less harmful than smoking. Being from that side of the field, they've just been pumped full of propaganda from people who have obviously interest and provide funding to those agencies.
What do you think will be now, since he is already from a popular organization, something that he probably would go back to? Do you think it takes away the temptation to kind of side with Big Pharma and go with Big Pharma, or do you think he's already bought and paid for by Big Pharma?
Man.
To me, it's not even as much bought and paid for as it is just that's who his associates are.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah,
That's who
that makes
his
sense.
wife are going to dinner with and that kind of thing. That's their circle, so to speak.
Yeah, it's scary. I'll tell you, anytime when I heard it was going to be him, I wish somebody would come in that had an open mind with the whole thing and hadn't already been kind of already prejudged on how they were going to deal with everything. So that's my fear with him coming in, is it's going to be something that he's already got his mind made up, or he's already got his agenda of how he's going to do things, and it's going to be something that fucks up, everything for everybody else.
We knew our fight with Gottlieb, and
right.
That's a big thing. I mean, we knew our fight. Ned Sharpless, let's see, he was a professor of medicine and genetics at North Carolina University. He is now currently sitting on a pretty big board. It's hard to say. I would say he's definitively got some money in his pocket. And I like the fact that he's appointed as an acting FDA commissioner. That to me screams trial period almost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely a trial period.
Well, the acting thing is basically they can knock him out of there anytime that they want to get rid of him, which is nice, right?
Yeah.
Shifting gears a little bit, what are you guys looking for to get at NVE?
Well, I think the first to buy is going to be an SQ. I've been wanting an SQ 21700, so that's going to be my first thing I purchase, I think, when I walk in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that,
for me,
food.
it's.
I'm thinking that Joe, maybe Joe or Gary will buy this one.
Is that an 18650 or is that the 21?
He's got a 21.
21. You know how I roll, brother.
Dude, that is a fantastic mod.
Yeah, it is. It hits like a tube mod, honestly. I mean, it doesn't even hit like some of the other mech boxes that I've got. It hits more like a tube mod. The only reason I'm up in the modders gallery, one-off type things, or one-off as far as colors and patterns, that sort of thing. Something different.
I think they released a list of the vendors in the modders gallery today.
Did they really? Where did they put? Do you know where it's at?
About it. No, somebody was talking about it, and I never went and looked.
Let's see if I can find it.
It was supposed to be on the NVE website.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God, we got LabWorks in here now.
NVE Connecticut. Let's take a look here and see what if I can find who the modders gallery is going to be.
So anything about the FDA, I default straight to LabWorks on.
Yeah, he's a professional on that.
National Vape Expert.
Sharpless comes from an industry where he also co-authored the T21. You've got an issue with that straight away. Second to that, he's got money that comes from industry that is in two ways when it comes to regulations. He could go down and he could push for T21 to come forward at the federal level, but who knows?
What's 221, Paul?
T21 is lifting the age, the national smoking age.
The 21. Are you guys for, or are you for or against that?
From a
personal,
it's a torn subject.
Personally, I'm against it.
Yeah, it's a torn subject. At 18 years old, if you can sign your life away to the military, you don't think you deserve the right to vote, you deserve the right to rent a car, you deserve the right to be an adult, and you can't buy tobacco products of any sort?
Yeah.
Without a doubt, there needs to be a military exception like they've done in the past, which still is inconvenient. I'm not for it. I think it's one of those things that hopefully it will be. It's not, if it gets pulled out at the front, we lose a lot of our ability to compromise later with it as well.
Right.
It's so randomly, it's so openly become acceptable that at the age of 18, worldwide, you become an adult. I mean, in some countries it may be different. I mean, I'm sure there is, but as an adult, you get the right to make certain decisions that you couldn't make before you were an adult. If you're going to keep adding regulations upon regulations that change that year, what does that age become now? You know what I mean? You start to lose that line. Are you really an adult if you're regulated upon the same things that 17, 16, 15, 14, 13? You know, how long do we stretch that age? You know, next year, is it going to be 23? Could it be 25? Could it be 30? How long do we regulate children to protect them? You know what I mean?
Right.
See, for the majority of it, okay, sure, you can join the military at 18 in the US. You can here as well.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, though, you get to vote and you get to drink at 18 as well. Everything is 18 here. Once upon a time, we had laws that you could actually purchase cigarettes at the age of 16, and then they lifted that to 18, and everything stopped and stayed at 18. If you lift it to 21, the issue that you have then is, what are you saying then to all the 18 to 21-year-olds that are smoking?
Right.
What? So you got to stay on the stinkies until you're 21, and then when you turn 21, you can have one of these, you can blow clouds, and you're going to get well again. No dice, man, no dice.
Yeah.
Leave it at 18, and be done with it.
Yeah.
And this guy is only a caretaker for the FDA. And this was one of the gentlemen that they put forward. He's there probably to get through a couple of the rules or the rulings that Gottlieb was putting in play. This guy's got a little bit more firepower. Sure he comes from medical, but if he's willing to actually listen to what the people want, you might have a better chance of getting a few of the decent rules through and not being thrown under the bus and made to be look like an arsehat.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Right.
But with everything that's going on in the US, this is becoming a ripple effect around the world now. Because you have specific things that other countries are now looking at. They're looking at how the FDA is putting everything together, and then other countries around the world are adopting it. You take a look at some of the stuff that's just been drafted here in Australia and it's come into effect. South Australia has had huge bans imposed, and on top of that, you wait until October this year, and it's completely illegal then to do any online sales.
Yeah,
that's the first part. If they start doing the same thing and they take a leaf out of the book of Australian law and they put it forward to US law, and certain states that have very heavily weighted or backed political, and they start rolling out bans that way, you guys are fucked.
Yeah.
My thing is, Australia kind of went on the rogue on this. I mean, I don't think there's any other countries that actually have banned vaping products except for like the Philippines, maybe.
No, Thailand.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Hong Kong's just come out and wants to ban it completely.
And don't they have a really high percentage of people who smoke in those areas?
You're looking at countries and the demographics. 40 to 60% of the actual public smoke there, and the tobacco industry is actually run by the governments.
Yep.
They're your issues.
Now, for Australia, it's only been South Australia that's gone on with a full-on ban and regulation as of now. Queensland and Northern Australia seems to be okay.
No, Queensland, they have a 1-800 dial-in a vapor hotline, and it's a $9,500 fine if you're caught with a liquid that's got nicotine in it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh no, Western Australia gets even better. And Western Australia is our biggest state. Over there, you get up to, what was it? It's either 5 years in prison or a $45,000 fine.
And that's just that has nothing to do with vaping. That's more based upon the nicotine itself.
Correct.
In the juice, yeah.
Yeah, correct. But I wish, well, we have a general election coming up here, and we're just about to vote out some of these arse-hats that have been putting out, what's going on here.
Yeah, bullshit regulation.
South Australia also has a gentleman. He is a professor at the university down there, and he also sits on the board of the WHO. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we also signed up to the WHO agreement regarding like vaping and nicotine and tobacco. And this guy openly speaks out about it, and the propaganda, I call him the head of the propaganda machine here. He's an absolute clown. He won't listen to reason, and we know why. He gets funded specifically from pharma.
Yeah.
And this is where you guys, there's a couple of people that have been noting on this, and we even said that this could have been one of the guys. But it's who takes this guy's position at the FDA and who finally takes up that job.
Yeah.
You have a big issue.
I mean, specifically, any of the candidates don't stand up as a positive thing for the vaping industry at all.
No, well, everyone thought that Gottlieb was going to be the saving grace of the vaping industry. Quite the opposite.
Well, when he came out in 2017, some of his policies and promises did hint to the fact that it would be a little bit more acceptable by the FDA because of him. And then it seemed within 6 months to a year, he did a complete 180 on his original policies.
And at his hearings, one of the things used against him was the fact that he had invested in a vapor company. And that's when we saw him as a kind of as our hero was, well, he can't be too hard on us. He already knows that vaping is less harmful than cigarettes. But further along than the last guy.
But lobbying money in the US does a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Than having someone that you think is going to help, and then it's like, well, hang on, come over here. I've got a brown paper bag. What's in this brown paper bag? It could be a new house, a new car, and a trip to Cabo, all expenses paid for you and your family, or you can put this law through, and guess what? You still get the paper bag. Yeah. That's how it all works. It's bullshit.
Yeah, and what people have to realize is that there's more money in lobbying and in politics than anybody who has money invested in an industry like vaping has ever been. A business like that.
Well, I guess then, okay, so here, let me play devil's advocate on this.
Sure.
So is the vaping industry then hurting business ultimately? So here's my question I pose. Is the benefit of people's health, is that hurting business in the world? Right? We'll look at two countries, obviously, Australia and America. Is it hurting the bottom line? People not being sick?
Okay. When Australia used to grow tobacco, which we did, we swapped that crop out with poppies, and we now provide 50% of the world's base product for the creation of opioids. You can blame us. So that part of the industry hurts when we're not sick. You're right, Scott, 100% right. The United States is the same way. You have a look at your demographic, and you have a look at the amount of people that actually vape in the United States. Yes, pharma is hurting like you wouldn't believe. They're hurting because, oh, hang on, we can't sell them our shitty pills anymore, our NRTs. We can't sell them the gum, the patches, the sprays, the powders, the pills, the, dermal patches, whatever you want to, wherever you want to go. They're not selling anymore. From an industry standpoint, and someone that's actually got skin in the game, what the FDA is doing is actually hobbling innovation worldwide. They're stopping. Deeming regs killed off a lot of stuff, but now the new regulations that are coming forward, innovation, it's still going ahead, but it's stagnating. It go back to 2014, 2015, like the 2 years where technology was just coming out left, right, and center. Every 5 minutes, there'd be something turning up on your desk. More new stuff.
I don't think even the vape industry becoming a multi-billion-dollar industry, I don't think it supplements near the economical gain that they're losing from agro, medical, and everything that is being harmed by the vapor industry.
We'll make up for the tobacco sales, but the real money is in treatment, not in cures and not in preventative medicine.
Correct, 100%. Like, now that CBD is gaining traction, the legalization of marijuana right across the United States, that's helping. People that already have cancer and are using these treatments on top of what they're being given from the farmer side of things, they're living longer.
Yeah.
They don't want that.
And a better quality of life.
Correct.
Right.
100%.
Right.
It's such an amazing thing to see a government that's starting to accept things like marijuana and CBD and then shut down something so simple as vaping, and it's almost laughable.
It is laughable.
Like there has to be a point where people, even non-vapors and people that don't know the truth about vaping and its health benefits, have to see, like, why is the government attacking something so small? When you put us in perspective, we're such a small industry compared to many things that are on the market, and it's ridiculous. It's almost like they're over-regulating the smallest thing they can possibly regulate, and people have to recognize that for a reason.
And it makes me wonder, like, what is our economy that volatile that an industry as small as vaping can do that much damage to the bottom line of this country, in so much that they're willing to spend, hundreds of millions of dollars to stop it.
Well, look
like
what they did.
that makes me that's the biggest thing that makes me nervous out of all this.
Look what they did to electric cars back
right
in the 90s when Saturn started coming out with the EV1 with technology that was going to take off. It's ungodly the amounts of money they spent to buy back all those cars and to put propaganda out there to keep petroleum-based combustion engines in the lead.
Scott, vaping. Okay, all of us here, like, having this little discussion right now, we're helping change history. I hope you guys understand that.
Yeah.
That's the absolute truth. We're part of an industry that is changing the future and is rewriting the history books.
Yeah.
And that's the absolute truth. But no one sees it that way. Like me as a
yeah.
Yeah.
I just assumed they could.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume they can.
Yeah, they can. Look, as a liquid maker, I get asked all the time, how does it feel for you to actually help save people's lives? And I don't really know how to explain that or
Right.
even put it out.
Yeah.
It's wild when you get asked that question, and then people will ask you, how many lives do you think you've saved? And then you don't know.
Right.
It weighs on you sometimes, and you've got to not think about it.
Part of me, and like from a business perspective, obviously I get so agitated. I guess part of me would just be like, I wish people would be more truthful. The leadership of these organizations, the country, would just be more truthful with people. The thing that drives me nuts is using the kid card, right? Using the kid card is the reason why they're trying to stop vaping. No, it has nothing to do with that. Come on. No. It has to do with lost revenue, with, revenue streams getting money taken away, tax revenue getting taken away. And if they would just come out and say that, it would I'd have so much of a better time if it was like businesses saying, well, we're losing money, so we're trying to get rid of this stuff because we don't want to lose money. I can respect that. You know what I mean? Then trying to vilify it and make it something that is like awful to do. It's such a weak play. It's so weak.
It's a hearts and minds thing.
Right.
I mean, they know it works.
Yeah, they're modifying the opinions of the masses upon false information. Like it's like using studies from, 2004 to 2010 about the rise in vaping in youth. Well, of course, because in 2004 no kid knew what vaping was, and in 2010 they did. So, of course, there's a rise. But then when you look at the newer studies that bring you from 2010 to 2018 or so, and you see the dramatic drop in the amount of teenagers that are vaping, they'll never use that number. They're basing their public opinion about the industry on studies that almost prove their point, but in the same token aren't really telling the truth.
The other big thing that you have to remember is the MSA also falls apart either 2023 or 2025, and it can't be reintroduced. So all your states that have gone and spent shit ton of money, where are they going to get their money back from?
Right, and they've taken out bonds against that money that they haven't made yet.
But they were never
no way of paying them back.
No, they were never ever meant to do that.
No.
They were banking on an industry going forward. They didn't ever see, or they didn't have a crystal ball back in the day when the MSA was signed, and it's gone, well, bada bing. We've gone and thrown a nice little spanner into the works and gone, well, fuck you. We're here to stay. We have a technology that is saving lives worldwide. And, yeah, you're right. Yeah, doctors advertise cigarettes. You're right, Clint. 100%.
And not just in the 50s. I mean, that continued all the way up until the 70s in the United States before the United States finally listened to the Royal College of Physicians and realized that, hey, cigarettes are bad.
They
used to hand out cigarettes in airplanes. That's the one really.
And I think cigarettes used to be intended to be an occasional type thing. Like chronic smoking, like where you're smoking one after another, chain smoking and things like that. Tobacco isn't really that type of substance. Tobacco is like an after dinner, leisure type activity, more so like a cigar. But the chemical formulas, to increase profits, they need people to smoke more. So they manipulated the chemicals of the tobacco and the additives and the things they put in there so that you smoke more, right? Make it more addictive for you, make it more pleasurable, and to go into different parts of your brain and whatever it does. But I mean, they basically chemically figured out how to increase people's wanting to smoke.
They put antidepressants in there and all kind of chemicals that alter the brain chemicals.
Yeah.
And
nicotine addiction only lasts 3 to 4 days after you stop using it. Why do people still crave them years later? There's no reason.
Right. And I'll tell you my experience from quitting, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, but my experience from quitting smoking was I went immediately to vaping, and I was actually vaping 12 milligram nic.
Yeah.
Right when I went out through a tank. So I was getting plenty of nicotine, but my body was still going through withdrawals. And the things that go with withdrawals, loss of appetite, sweats, nervousness, anxiousness, diarrhea and things like that go through like you're really kicking something. That's what my body was going through because of all the other substances that are in cigarettes that you're addicted to that I couldn't get through vaping. So
when they changed out the recipe and they started using ammonia-based extraction processes and stuff like that for the actual tobacco, and then probably the biggest one that they won't tell you, besides the antidepressants, you're looking some cigarettes, you've got lidocaine.
Yeah.
And that's a really good one. That's what stops you getting that really nasty throat hit.
Yeah, because it's a painkiller at best. I mean, it's a numbing agent.
A lot of things are numbing agents in this world, but that one's a good one. But they never ever thought that vaping would take off like this and that it would become worldwide.
No, they didn't. They had no clue it was going to take off. If they would have, then they would have stopped it years ago. Let's just be honest.
The genie's out of the bottle, right? And you're not going to go and stuff the genie back into the bottle.
Now, at the same token, do you think that the fact that vaping is around is a little bit of a shining hope? To be honest, by all government standpoints, it could be gone already, and it's not.
No, because we keep digging in and we keep fighting it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it hasn't come without sweat and blood, but at the same token, there's a lot of things, especially in the U.S., that they could do that could end it rather quickly.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, they've granted extensions for a lot of the paperwork and a lot of the applications. They've, American foundations that at one point in time totally were against vaping came out with their own studies disproving their original beliefs.
A lot of those, and also a lot of the studies that you're seeing or reading are actually peer created. They're not medically created.
Yeah.
All the studies that are peer created, you throw them into one corner and you say, well, we'll look at them, but we don't trust them. You look at the ones that have actually been put together by the medical community for the vaping community, and the truth is there.
Yeah.
If for argument's sake, on what they've done here with certain things, they've actually started censoring out. Well, it's gone on for a number of years now. At first, it was to knock out, torrents and stuff, but also medical information is actually on our blacklist now, and it's being filtered here in Australia. You're lucky in the United States because you've got your amendments, and they can't do that. They can't block certain things.
Yeah, our speech is still pretty free, which helps.
Well, it does help.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, if the FDA now, right, wanted to show the rest of the world that yes, we will take on vaping, we will say yes, it is a much healthier alternative to smoking cigarettes. We will help go through and try and regulate it in some way, shape, or form, because you got to admit, vaping is always been the Wild West.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
But until you have someone there that is educated enough at the FDA to actually, control and let things through, like go to your liquid testing. You guys do not have enough labs in the United States,
Right,
to test the amount of ELiquid that goes out. No way.
What do you guys think What do you guys think about the user fees that they're proposing in the 2020 budget here in the U.S.? Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, I've read that as well, and I just looked at that and I went, yeah, I don't think so, Jan. That's not going to fly.
I don't think it'll pass. That's something I don't think is even remotely acceptable. I mean, there's not a vapor alive that doesn't agree that we need to be regulated properly and fairly.
Right.
I don't think there's a vapor alive that wouldn't say, hey, if they imposed a fair and right tax, we wouldn't agree to it.
right.
They come out of the woodworks with these out of the box, just slam, techniques towards the vaping industry. And it crosses over to that point where it's not just hurting the vape industry, it's hurting constitutional rights. In the United States, that stuff doesn't fly. Thankfully, things like that, when they go overboard, it doesn't go, unannounced to the general public when they see things like that.
Well, in my opinion, we need taxes. Reasonable tax can be a good thing because it helps us lobby, because it's a dollars and cents thing with some politicians as far as what's it gonna do for them. But there's a statement, and I don't know if this is direct from Trump or someone in his cabinet, that he wants to see 100 million out of these user fees. Big Tobacco only pays 700 million. So they're looking at vaping providing 1/7 of the amount of that Big Tobacco pays. If you think about how much tobacco money there is in tax out there.
Yeah. That's a heavier pocket than we have. That's for sure.
Charlie, what are you vaping on over there? What is that monstrosity you got there, Charlie?
Triple stack Dreamer.
Yep.
Triple stack.
Triple stack, all copper.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's insane.
Look,
Kimmy,
this all,
what do you think of that, Kimmy? What do you think of that triple stack Dreamer there, Kimmy?
I think it's
robot voice. Damn it.
Oh man.
I would get to sound like a robot.
It looks like a billy club.
It does. It looks like a big copper billy club. Literally, if somebody breaks in his house, he's going to fucking kill him.
I come in here with my stack, and then Charlie puts me to shame with his triple.
Yeah.
Makes me upset every day.
It gets it's unbelievable. The triple stack Jamer. Yeah, okay. What coils are you running in that?
It's just coils I built about a 0.6, 0.7 round wire, just straight round wire. 14 wraps around a 3.5.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I still think it's amazing that when you know, like for example, go back to that lawmaker from Denver. She put out that, you know, the bill to ban flavors, it's on the House floor and all that bullshit. Just the public opinion that she got, like the replies she got from on Facebook about doing that it's hilarious. Somebody's like breaking into my house, Jesus.
Yeah.
But the like the replies she got on Facebook for that were fucking awful.
Yeah, she
You know
got
what I mean?
slammed for that.
She literally got beat to shit.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that people are actually standing up for things like that and making their voice heard at least somewhat. You know, that they're not just pulling the wool over everybody's eyes, right?
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of vapors are really complacent. That's the problem. I mean, a lot of vapors don't know the entire fight that the industry is in. And then half of them that do know the fight are still really complacent about how they interact with it, which is really not a good thing. If we had a lot more backing by the masses of people, it would help a lot more.
A lot of people don't understand the fight.
If my package isn't here, the fucking postman stole it. I just did.
Gary's a robot
Gary's
too.
froze.
We got robots all over this place.
That's angry Gary face right there. That is angry Gary.
I mean, even the master settlement agreement, you know, a legislation that basically molded a lot of this country that people don't understand. If you ask most Americans about it, I guarantee most of them won't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And that's a bad thing.
It is.
The lack of education, you know, and it's amazing. What people don't know can really hurt them.
Scott and I were talking about that one day. We were actually talking, and I said to you, I need a T-shirt that says edumacation, because that's pretty much how it feels to me with what goes on in the US these days. Not educated.
No, it was really something that really woke me up, because I know how many idiots there are in the world, I thought, but our last local election, they did practice ballots on Facebook where they talked about what the new legislation was going to be that people were voting on, and summarized to put it in plain, simple language.
Some of the comments on that were hilarious.
Yeah,
I read it.
Yeah, almost every one of them was basically dead wrong or ass backwards. And they write these bills to confuse people, but people literally go to the polls and stand outside the voting machine and look up on their cell phone who they should vote for.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or they get a text message from one of the members in that area. Well, vote for me. Oh, I got to vote for you.
Yeah, that's it. It's funny because when it comes to breaking laws, ignorance is no excuse to break the law. You know, if you don't have a driver's license, you drive a car and a cop pulls you over and you say, "Hey, I didn't know I had to have a driver's license." You're still going to get arrested. You're still.
That's what my dad does.
Yeah.
That's what my dad does, Joe.
But my
dad drives a car without a license.
Yeah. But he knows. He just doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't act like he knows.
Yeah.
He just keeps around driving. Right around.
Did he find the fuses that you took out yet?
Hey, he fixed the car. He fixed it. He figured out how to fix it. Now I'm going to figure out how to fix the garage door. He can't open it. Literally, I have to like sabotage my dad's house to get him.
He's gonna drive through it. He's driving through it.
He's gonna drive through it.
He's just gonna back right.
He's gonna Dukes. I really picture like the Dukes of Hazzard. Like he's gonna come flying out of that garage, smash the fucking door, then like go get him a cup of coffee, come back, and he's like,
No, we left Gary at angry Gary face, and now he's dancing with me.
Gary. He got a package. Is that package for me? Yeah, vape mail. I forgot. I was supposed to go to the post office today, and I didn't actually make it. I've got a couple things that are supposed to go out, but they'll go out on Saturday. So I apologize. There's 3 people that I have to apologize to. I was going to go today, but I didn't get back from taking Dad to the doctor till later.
All right.
Ryan Feeney made a point. Any vapor that isn't a hobbyist doesn't have a clue what's going on. That's absolutely nearly the truth. It really is.
Oh.
Look at there. What's in that box, Gary?
What's in that box?
Let's see what's in the box.
What's in the box?
I forgot you had a purge coming. No wonder you were worried about that.
Fuck yeah.
I know what's in that box.
Purge Fallout. It's fucking badass mod, dude.
Woo! What's in the box, they say?
But-
How's it going, Scott?
Hey, what's happening, man? How you doing, Eddie?
Good, mate. Good.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, dude.
Got vape mail.
You got vape mail. Ooh,
Oh, he's got a
the back to
perch.
basics. Very nice. V4,
Nice.
I love that mod. I absolutely love that mod.
Then of course, yeah.
Labworks, me and you are going to have to upgrade our vape mail game. Everybody's getting purges while we're sitting here doing nothing.
Dude, that is a fucking hell of a mod.
I don't worry about purges. I've been collecting these Molly V2s. Little
Oh,
small-
yeah, the Molly V2s are nice.
Two little boxes.
I tell you what, I hadn't used my Vindicator for probably, I would say at least like 3 months maybe. And I forgot how awesome a mod this is. It is fucking I love this thing so much.
Oh.
Nice weight. Isn't it like perfect weight? Yeah, right? Fits in the hand nice.
Yeah.
Looks really nice with that Turk. I think I'm going to leave that Turk on it for a while. And I'm vaping some Endivine stainless steel aliens in here. So I've got a Cadillac setup right now.
That he installed absolutely perfectly because he didn't
Perfectly.
breathe for the entire 4 minutes he was putting them
I
in.
did. I'm kind of weird about like when I install coils like live, like I kind of just do it. When I install coils, like when I'm really doing it, like I take my time, I cut them exactly perfectly, I get them in there, match them exactly in this like exactly in the center. Like I do everything like perfectly, like a fucking surgeon. I'm like a coil surgeon, Joe.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that when you review a
Here's
product,
a
you
dream.
don't properly put the coils in.
Well, when I review it, let me tell you something about my reviews, Charlie. My reviews are excellent. I don't know if you knew that. They're excellent. They're probably the best reviews you've ever seen on any product.
Sounds a little staged.
You might want to get that back scratcher out to pat yourself.
Dude, let me hold on a second. This is not. Yeah, it's dual purpose. I'm patting myself. Dude, let me tell you something about doing reviews. Now, if you've never done a review, you may look at it and think it's kind of. It's not easy. It's not easy. Get that out. Like completely forget that. It's hard. And doing them live, I think, is probably a little. Well, doing them live is probably harder to get your information across. But editing reviews is fucking hard. Hard as hell. It's really, really
That's
hard.
why we're seeing so many live reviews coming on now.
It's harder to keep your thoughts in line because a lot of times you'll get, you can't go back and erase what you didn't really want to say. But it's certainly a lot easier in general for me. And I'm not an expert by any means, but just from my experience, like, it's a lot of fucking work, man. Like, yeah, doing them. I got the review for the Bestia tomorrow.
I gotta say, Scott, you got some girly hands if that engraving bothered your hand.
I have girly hands, Gary.
He's not the first person to say it. I've heard a lot of people say it.
That engraving doesn't hurt me at all. That shit feels like, actually, it has more grip than anything.
Yeah. I have girly hands.
You work outside and have calluses on your hands, Gary.
Yeah, he's got man hands.
It's beautiful. Isn't it beautiful?
It is a pretty mod.
Gary's like, Gary is happy as hell right now.
I'm a little jealous, but I'm doing all right with my stuff.
I know, and it sucks because I've got to leave like now to go see my little girl. So I just came home to see it.
Yeah,
And then that motherfucker.
Hey, Joseph, how you doing, man?
How's it going?
Throw a
Yeah,
30
dude.
in there. See how it vapes.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't got nothing to put on right now. Nothing low enough.
You'll have to build something when you get back.
Yeah.
I think I sent coils with it too, didn't I?
Yeah. You said it's 32s.
There you go. Put that in there.
He's got to go see his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My bad.
I mean, I could, but then that's less time I go with her.
I'm
But
trying to break up your family, Gary.
yeah, I know, over a vape. All right, fellas. I'll see y'all later.
See you, Gary.
Good night.
Later, man.
Stay safe.
I was gonna do that video today. I was gonna do how to do the 30T, even though it's not really that complicated. But I get a lot of people asking me what's in that, how I do it, and I was gonna do that today. Kind of share that. It's a great build. I'll tell you, it's a great mech build, man. It is an absolutely fantastic mech build.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on upstairs. It sounds like my wife is moving a body.
Yours.
Thank God. Or maybe she's like getting ready, like positioning the house. So when I come up,
If you walk upstairs and there's plastic sheeting hanging up everywhere, just run back downstairs and hit the live button
Lock the
again.
door.
So we get to watch it. Yeah.
Gus.
Hey, there you go. Those are now. That's the old logo, Eddie. That's the old logo. Now I have a new logo. There's the TVL. I looked that one up, Joe. It's a pretty expensive, huh?
It was hard to find. Yeah. I have number 60.
Nice.
Nice.
Kenny Holt. Yes, your wire is sent out. You should get it today, Kenny. You should have your wire today. That went out on Saturday, sir.
Got that.
I sent a bunch of 30T. V-Dog says he sent a bunch of 30T builds to New Zealand. There you go. Chicken wing is a bait. What's up, Bones? How you doing?
That double stack mage is a really nice mod.
Transferring all over the internet. Kenny wouldn't do that to me, Charlie.
For the money, that mage V2 is a lot of mod for the money.
Yeah.
Lab works. You're not gonna make it to NVE, are you?
No.
Oh man.
You're mine.
Not after what went down the other day. That was a shock to a lot of us.
What happened what happened to you guys?
Oh, not to us, to a very good friend of mine.
Oh, all right.
And I know that Sam's going to be there, so you can chase him around and give him shit. And
You don't really have to chase him. I'm just gonna walk around with a beer in my hand, holding it up with a sign that says "This is for you, Bogan," and hopefully he'll find me.
Yeah, that'll work.
Just pull it out.
I'm gonna set up a box, one of those boxes with a string and a stick. I'll put some beer underneath it, wait for him to walk in and pull the string.
Bogan bait.
Yeah.
So you're gonna kidnap Bogan now? Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
We could use his help, to tell you the truth, with his advocacy talk. We could use his help in the U.S.
Yeah, we try and do the best we can over here.
Yeah.
Sam and I do, for the most part, that's all we ever do.
Yeah.
But, shit happens.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, going back to that conversation. What if they impose like a 2 or 3 cent tax per mil across the board?
I'm in New Jersey. We have a 10-cent.
Yeah, okay.
So
but what if, think about this for a minute.
Yeah.
What if every state went and said, okay, 5 cents a mil tax? Across the board, not just 1 or 2 states.
Yeah.
Across the board, every single state. That would help.
That would generate a lot of money.
That'd be 100 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the hard part is determining what's fair as a tax on what we have. It is not the easiest thing to give to people. A lot of people don't want to agree to taxation, and that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, we know that, but
by person, I wouldn't disagree with a 3 to 5 cent tax per mil, because, like you said, that would generate that 100 million that they're looking for.
Oh, comfortably.
And if money is what they're after, and we give them money, it makes it a lot harder for them to shut us down in the long run. If it's about the money,
they don't want the money. They want to control the industry from the inside out.
Yeah.
They don't really care about the money. They just want to control the industry.
And that's the tough part is I don't see a way. I don't see us getting away pharma making it a medical product. FDA.
Let me ask you a question. Would you vape on something that big pharma produced? Because I don't think I would.
No, probably not. No.
I mean, most of us would still vape the same way we've always vaped. But it would change the market and what's available to the typical.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were talking about. Matt Cully the other day, and Wayne Walker from DIY or Die. That's what they were talking about. And the thing is, if they went after flavors, that's the next part. They're very, very silly because the flavors are used in a lot of other different, a lot of different other things.
Yeah,
we're always going to be able to get our hands on flavors of some description. The big thing that they'll try and control is the side of it. If they control the nicotine,
yeah, that's what I see happening. And I hear so often you don't have to worry about DIY because nicotine is used commercially. They can't regulate nicotine, but they can regulate nicotine we have access to.
Yeah, they can.
They regulated caffeine. They can regulate nicotine.
Yep, absolutely they can, and they will.
And you're looking at nicotine for pesticide treatments and that kind of thing. It's easy to throw something in there that would just kill someone who vaped it.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
Yeah, I agree that the flavor fight is going along the coattails of protecting the children, which I think they're in general losing that battle, because a lot of people are wising up to the fact that it's not about the children. It never has been about the children. It'll never be about the children.
I don't know. I don't
know either.
The flavor bans are going through further than we thought they were going to.
A lot of people criticize like CASA and stuff because they don't see big wins, and a lot of the people don't see the little wins that happen through CASA and all that stuff. So like they say they don't support it or whatever. I mean, you have to, like, if you're gonna, if you get what I'm trying to say, like the big wins isn't gonna be always there. It's gonna be the little wins.
Right.
A lot of people look
right.
for
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, a lot of people look for reasons to justify why they don't do shit, or they'll talk down about some advocacy group, but they're not doing anything.
You hit that nail right on the head. I think people use excuses like that to justify the fact of why they don't donate or why they don't advocate or why they're not involved. It's to make themselves feel better why they use excuses like that.
Absolutely.
Small victories are still victories.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree. I don't think it'll be. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be a game changer because we don't have enough money. Hey there, what's up, lady?
Sure.
They don't. They don't do enough. They don't get enough money to be able to do like a large type of change. Like that's not going to happen. But it's I think it's having a voice for everybody is really the point more so of the advocacy groups, is to at least have our voice heard. I mean, and really changing the opinion of changing the populace's opinion of it really should be the goal, right?
And just the fact that Assad does call and lets people know about their advocacy. That's a huge thing.
Right.
When it matters.
Yeah, I
hold on. Let me tell lady. She's like
super loud.
Yeah. Hey, lady, your mic is super loud. I don't know if you can mute it back. Yeah, I muted her. I couldn't hear. Couldn't hear anybody talking.
Yeah, I mean, and we have to be honest. We have to have advocacy organizations to speak for the masses, because most of us vapors don't know how to talk to politicians. Most of us vapors don't know how to lobby, and most of us vapors don't know how to, organize a rally that acts in a professional standpoint and can approach people with knowledge that is actually going to change anything. So, donating to certain groups and having, figureheads of the vaping industry is something that we definitively need. And people not supporting those groups, like Joseph said and Charlie said, is their excuse to not donate and not advocate is a joke. It's literally just trying to take blame off themselves for not doing anything.
Well, in my opinion, like if you just emailed your representative, and no matter where you're at, if you email them, doesn't matter what you're saying. If you, not what you're saying, but like how you say it. If you say you're a vapor, they have to listen. I mean, they can't just you know, how do you say this? Like, if there was 1,000 people and they gave an email just saying, "Oh, I'm a vapor and this is it, saved my life," or whatever, eventually they're gonna listen because they're getting these influxes of emails saying, "Hey, all these people are supporting." You know what I'm saying?
Especially on the state and the local municipal levels. I go to city council meetings every month, and the last 5 meetings we've gone to come up twice. Is that a TV?
Yeah, I think it's her microphone is like right next to her.
Picking up everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's her microphone.
I mean, in the end, you have to admit, if you don't talk, you'll never be heard. So
exactly.
The last 5 meetings that I've been to, vaping came up twice, and I just got up and spoke a few minutes. And now, because we go to the meetings, all the local city representatives know who we are and talk to us, and they're not nearly as quick to pass vaping. They're passing a lot of smoking things because of new alcohol regulations, taking vape out of it and leaving it for tobacco and smoking.
Yeah, but I gotta say that the last 4 or 5 meetings that JD has went to at the Capitol, they haven't given the people that are there for vaping longer than 5 minutes to talk, and that's not 5 minutes per person. That's 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes for everybody.
Right.
So you've got a lot of people like Matthew Plazo who comes up from Purge, who came up and he hasn't even had a chance to speak. I mean, you got to think he's spending hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars to come to Tallahassee to come speak, and they're not letting anybody talk.
Yeah,
So,
to me, that's why those relationships are so important, where you go shake a hand and tell your representative or whoever it is. It doesn't have to be your rep. It's multiple representatives in your state, where just shaking their hand and getting their ear for a minute when they recognize your face when you call does a ton.
well, yeah, and I mean that's like the last time they had one. I think it was 2 weeks ago. The American Cancer Society got to speak for like 2 hours, and whenever it was time for the vapors to come up and the owners of businesses, one of the guys who owns, I can't remember which ELiquid company he owns, but it's a big one. He had a whole speech written out, and he got the first sentence in, and they were brushing him off to the side. Next person.
Yeah.
Next person.
Well, you've got to then follow the brown paper bags that are going along with these speeches.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave this over here for you for after the meeting. Don't worry. Give us a bit more time, and you can have this lovely little brown paper bag.
Now our brown paper bags will never match theirs, so the only way to do that is exposing corruption, and that's a hard thing to do in the United States for people to believe corruption.
Oh.
I don't know why people trust our governments as much as they do, but they do, and it's a hard battle to fight when you're exposing corruption, because like you said before with the elections and how people base their voting on who they looked up on the internet before they walked in the door, or who texted them last, or who sent them the last flyer in their mail.
Yeah.
Hard, man.
Yep.
The ignorance is pretty amazing.
Yeah, but
I mean, I guess that people want to, there's a comfort in, just a general comfort in thinking that somebody has your best interest in mind. And when something has so much control over you, like the federal government does, or your state government, or even your local government, you want to think that everything that they're doing to help you. So I get people wanting to feel that way, and I think it's a tough reality when you ultimately realize that, they're more interested in how much money they can make, and controlling. And that was kind of like my side argument to the whole vaping thing is, in a way, like if they would just come out and say the reason why we're trying to stop it is for money because we're afraid we're going to lose profits, I would have a lot more respect for them than trying to play other cards and trying to be underhanded about it like they're doing. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the way the world works.
Yeah, that wouldn't play as good in the media.
Well, that's how the world works, right? They can't come out and tell you that that it's because of the money. but I understand why people think, you know, I mean, I think in history, you know, it started kind of around the Vietnam War. Like, people started seeing the government as like this thing that, like, well, maybe our best interest isn't in mind here when they're making these decisions. And it's kind of never gone away. Like, people still think that way. And when they do things like this, it just reinforces that thought. That, you know, it's like they're just shooting themselves in the foot as far as as far as people really care or thinking that they're trying to do something for you.
Yeah, it really got emphasized in the Gulf War, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, but also emailing, you know, that's one thing. But a physical letter written to your representative, they have to open that said mail.
Yeah.
And email, they can just put you on a block list and go
automated response. Every email you send, automated response.
And let's be honest, most of these representatives, they're not opening that mail. They're fucking the person who does all their letters. And like, their office lady is the one that's opening that and reading that. So, I mean, I get to advocate, but do you really think a quarter of what we send in and call in gets to these reps? Because I don't think it does.
But that quarter,
I'd be surprised if 10% made it through.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but we need that.
Helps.
We need that 10%.
Well, and that's the thing. 10% of 1,000 people and 10% of 10 million people is a big difference.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But we all know that not all 10 million vapors are doing it.
That therein lies the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the 1%, bro. It's simple as that.
Less than.
Yeah, I mean, that's the shitty part. That's the problem is, if you ask most vapors if they had no access to what they have right now, will they continue vaping or go back to smoking if a ban is put on it? You know what they're going to say? They're going to go back to smoking.
Yep.
A lot of them will.
I mean, I'll be honest, and I mean, it's kind of sad saying this, but I miss smoking. I mean, I still do, and it's been 2 years, almost 3 years. It's been almost 3 years I quit smoking, and I don't dual use or whatever. I don't smoke at all,
right?
You know, and sometimes like when I'm out on a break or something, somebody's smoking a cigarette, man, I'm like, fuck. I legitimately have to walk away because I still want to smoke. You take away vaping, and I'm going to start smoking again.
That's right.
Without question. And, you know, I know it will never be taken away for people who are in the hobbyist type of vaping on our side. It won't be taken
we'll find
away.
a way. We'll always
find a way. We can put our minds together and figure out how to vape. You know, we're going to figure it out.
It ruins it for people that are current smokers. That need to switch.
And when you have something that is that powerful, that even you know, I mean, I've quit a lot of addictions in my life, a lot.
Yeah.
And for me, if somebody who's experienced with addiction and knows how to stop it, at least knows how to work to stop it, I should say, that I would jump right back into it. Like, what's somebody who has no experience with that going to do? You know, they're going to jump right back into it. It's scary. It really is. So,
you know,
see,
Scott,
I can't even stand the smell of cigarettes. Like, I can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
If I smell it, I have to walk away because I can't stand the smell. I don't want a cigarette. I don't care to see them. It's to me
good,
like
man.
it makes me sick.
That's good.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't stand the smell of a cigarette. It makes me literally ill to smell it.
I'd like to think I'd never go back, but it's hard to say what would happen. If I disappeared tomorrow, it'd be hard to say. I don't think I would. I really don't think I would ever go back, but I've spent a long time on this.
So, Joe, you haven't got the skill set to look after yourself if they tried banning.
Oh, I do. I would be fine. I mean, there would be no way I would never not be able to vape. I mean, I know that, but I'm not worried about myself so much. Not me I care about. You know, I know if I wanted to vape for the next 30 years and I made it illegal tomorrow, I'd probably be able to do it.
Yeah,
that's what we always say on a lot of the shows. It's sure we all say advocate, but the biggest thing that we say to everyone is you educate, and you educate each other, and you keep helping each other. You keep teaching them tricks that they might not have known 12 months ago when they picked up vaping, like some of us here, are, like how you've got 3 years under your belt, Scott.
Yeah,
Vaping?
3 years. Yeah.
What
That's
about
a
the
long
rest of you
time.
guys? What about the rest of you guys here?
I'm 5. I'm
Yeah,
5 years.
5. I'm 5. You know,
That's 6.
Just over 1 year.
I mean,
Time.
I've been a part of vaping for 6 years, but I've fucking fell off the bandwagon more times than I can count. So
Yeah.
I don't count all 6 years. So
Same with me, Gary. You know, I used to dual use for a long time, smoke cigarettes and vape. And not until maybe, I'd say, honestly, about 4 solid months have I actually quit the cigarettes, you know, and I got a lot of slack for it. But I started smoking at 19 and I just turned 36. You know, it wasn't, I'm like Scott. I've quit a lot of addictions.
Right.
But cigarettes was just the flipping hardest to quit for me.
Yeah.
it'd be it was easier for me to get off cocaine than it was cigarettes.
Yeah.
You're not surrounded by cocaine every day. You're surrounded.
And also, it's not. I mean, you know, it's not manipulated. The the chemicals of it aren't manipulated to make it more addictive either. You know what I mean? They've worked for years to make it more and more and more addictive. You know, at every turn.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I mean, that's the drive on it. So we're getting ready. I'm gonna get ready to close this down here. I want to go around the room and just let everybody say what's up, where they can find you. On Instagram or YouTube, if you got a channel, whatever you want to promote. If you want to give any shout outs to people. First shout out I want to do is Johnny Drip's birthday. So I want to say happy birthday to Johnny.
Dribble!
Love you, dude.
Happy cake day.
He's turning 52 today. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. He's 52.
He looks really good.
52.
52.
He looks really good. for 52.
Johnny Drake
really
is
good.
52.
Yeah, he's 52.
Yeah.
Scott, come on.
No,
He really is.
he's not 52. He's like, you're a dick. All right, well, I'm going to start out. Let's start out with the bottom corner here. I got Mr. Chris. What's going on, Chris?
Going on. Nothing really to shout out, just fellow vapor. You know.
All right, man. Good to see you. Just pass it around there. We'll go over to the lady next.
All right.
Go over to me next.
Yeah, you're the. I'm going right around. I'm gonna do the Brady bunch. We have the Brady bunch right now going on. Eddie is Alice.
Oh, okay.
I am actually Mr. Brady in this scenario.
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
Okay. I'm Lady
You're Mrs.
Louisiana. Oh man. I'm Lady Louisiana. You can find me on Instagram. I do have a YouTube page, but I don't make videos or anything. I'm typically hanging out with Scott or hanging out with my fellow stooge friends. That's basically where I'm at. Usually hanging out in the Discord.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Gary.
Hey, I'm no shocker to anybody in this community. So what's up? See you when I see you.
Gary's awesome. Gary's got his new mods. He's ready to rock and roll. All right, Joseph, what's going on, man?
Not much, bud. Just I'm a patron of yours, Jay's, and Batman. So I'm on Discord on yours and Jay's, so I'm there.
Right on, dude. Glad to see you, man. What's up, Eddie?
Good. Scott. Yeah.
You there?
Dave said Subaru nerd.
Yeah. Subaru nerd vapes. Cal's irons. And the rest of the everybody else in the chat. Stay off the cigs. Stay cloudy. And if you get the chance, just hit up your local politicians. Keep the fights up over there. We've got your backs in the UK. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. Mr. Paul, Mr. Labworks.
G'day, people. You can find me anywhere and everywhere. Labworks across all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube. And everyone out there, sub on your dick off.
Yeah.
Charlie is sub-ohming his dick off.
Oh man.
Look at that thing.
Scott.
Yeah.
I just thought I'm on Instagram. It's a different spelling. It's got a ADDY.
Do this.
Instagram.
Eddie, put it in chat, buddy. Put it in chat, and then they'll be able to see what it is.
Yeah, we can't hear you too well.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh,
it's that UK internet. It's terrible. What it is. You gotta get some American internet.
Yeah. See, the UK loves vaping now, but their internet's still trash.
Still sucks. Yeah. You'll never be able to beat us in World of Warcraft with our internet like that, sir.
Never. Never.
All right, let's kick it over to Charlie. How you doing, Charlie? What's up, my brother?
All right. You can find me right here on BlackCat Whiteface on Thursdays in the Vape Hot Tub.
Ooh, man.
We're supposed to have Joe Rogan here this week.
Joe Rogan Thursday, the Vape Hot Tub.
It's gonna be a sexy hot tub.
It's gonna be. He's gonna interrupt his podcast. He has a podcast with Morgan Freeman. He's gonna interrupt that to come on the Vape Hot Tub. It's pretty amazing.
Is Joe gonna pull his shirt off? That's the question.
We're gonna fight. I'm gonna fight him.
I hope he's gonna choke me out.
I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna whoop Joe Rogan's ass live in the hot tub.
Go ahead, Joe.
Then I'm gonna make him fix me pancakes.
Oh shit!
My God.
I love pancakes.
Go ahead, Joe White.
I got nothing. I'm just a regular vapor. You can find me hanging out either in Scott's Discord or Zoom room, or in Heavy Metal Vapors Discord or Zoom room. I hang out in the Stooge room too with Lady Louisiana. So that's about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining today. You know, we originally were gonna have Rick on. He wasn't able to make it. It's kind of a last minute thing, so I decided to go live and bring some people on. And thanks everybody for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Definitely, thanks.
So
We love you, Scott.
I love you guys. I love you too. Thank you. So what we have going on for tomorrow, there's a giveaway for tomorrow for 230 milliliters of Adore ELiquid and for
Someone's TV.
Yeah, someone's TV. There's 230 mils of Adore ELiquid, and you're going to get a set of coils from Rick McCraw. To enter that giveaway, put a number in yesterday's episode between 1 and 150, and I'll pull that number tomorrow. Then, on Friday, we have a giveaway for Rick McCraw, 3 sets of coils. If you go to his Instagram page and repost with the hashtag BlackCatFam at Rick McCraw. Now, we're going to do the giveaways on the YouTubes. I'm not shying away. I'm gonna be a lawbreaker and do that because I see other shows.
Oh shucks!
I see other shows doing it. And I think they're getting away with it. Tonight on the YouTubes, you have ST Vapes. I believe he is on at 8 o'clock. Make sure 8 o'clock or 8. Is it 9 o'clock? ST.
Not sure.
Not sure. Whatever time he's on, make sure you tune in for that. I'll be in the chat of that one. And you have Nick on tonight at 9 o'clock. So get in there, support the community. Thanks everybody for showing up and joining us. It's been an absolute blast. Love you guys to death. We will see you tomorrow with the review of the Bestia RDA. I'll be doing that live tomorrow. It'll probably be the best review.
Oh shucks!
Charlie, it's probably going to be the best review you've ever seen. Are you ready for it, Charlie?
It's gonna be good.
Better be good. You better not just throw some shitty coils in there like you're known to do, and not put into the build like you do for your own build.
I'm going to put in 24 gold-plated coils. That's
Did you hear that?
He's definitely not going to pulse them either. He's just going to wick them without
They're
pulsing.
already pre-pulsed, Joe. You guys are killing me.
He's never pulsed coils.
Look, I am the greatest coil builder on the face of this planet. I know about pulsing coils. I'm the best at it.
He basically reviews hot spots.
Yep.
Oh man!
Oh, I'm getting really, really hot tasting, like burnt cotton. I don't know what that is. No, I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye guys.
Bye, guys.
I love you. Thank you. See you soon.
Faggins, what up, son?
Good.
What it do?
That twirl, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's